Although I procrastinated for like a week, although I wasn't really procrastinating, I'm working on another project, um, just a music player. But I have now started level 3 and I will, I will get back to it. Yeah, so I was really, putting off doing anything because I didn't want to make enemies. It just seemed like a headache and I wasn't really, I didn't really have that spark for it. But now I'm thinking maybe I should just not have enemies because as soon as I thought, hey, you know what, I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to work on my level and forget about enemies. And I've actually got a lot done. So I kind of explained. So first, this plate, it used to only enable objects and then disable them. Now I've made it so that you can choose the reverse. So this one, for example, it will disable this object and then re-enable it. So that's cool. Um, this is going to be a speed boost. So when you go on it, you're going to get speed for some time. And it's actually a really cool level and a little bit scary, and I'll show you why. All right. That's terrifying. This right here. I really like it though. It's kind of just making sure you don't go this way because there's nothing here. And what's interesting about this is that to get the speed boost, this has to be removed. And to make this jump, you need speed boost. So it actually makes, some cool level. And you basically go up here, and up here. I wish this was more difficult, but you can just hold down right move and you just go through this. And then you hit the plate, it gets removed, you get your speed boost, and you're gonna speed past there and not get hit by this super scary saw. Good news, I actually just finished my music player, so now I will have all of my time fully dedicated to this game. All right, so as you can see, I've done a lot more of the level, so now all the way until the hard mode. And I've also made speed working, and guess what? It's all about particles once more. And this time the particles actually look way better than the particles from level 2. Like these particles, they're okay. But now look at this. Okay, let me just go maximum and show the level. Look at that. Come on. What? What? Well, that's a bug I've never seen before in my life. Okay, well. Okay, just ignoring that. I guess I'll try to fix it. I mean, I don't even know how to fix that because there's a collider right here. So that even shouldn't be possible. But I think when things move really fast, sometimes the game breaks. I've just noticed just in Unity. So I don't really think I can fix that bug. Anyways, okay. Wow, I've never seen that before. That caught me off guard. Back to it. Yeah, so that's cool particles, and I'll show a bit more of that. Last video, or last log, I said that this was too easy because you could just hold left, hold move right. Now you can't do that. So now you actually have to go to the edge of that and kind of angle your jump correctly. Anyways, so we get to the speed, right? And now that you have the speed, the particle is actually on the body itself. So that's really cool. Yeah, as you can see, you need the right angle. You get the speed. Okay, I've made these like go really fast, and then you go here. You have to not get hit by the spike in the middle there. Yeah, so I've made slower spikes because I think they're very interesting for gameplay. Yeah, and then you get here. All right, so yeah, I mean that's about what I added. I think the slower spikes add for more complex gameplay. I think the particles look really cool, and I think it's like how it sticks to the player. It's kind of like, that gooey substance from Subnautica, if you know. Just like that, I've finished this level. I can't believe it. Well, I can. It's called not procrastinating and actually doing the work. Also, I'm just having fun with level building. The things I added weren't too complicated. I think all of the really difficult parts about making this game weren't actually the level building itself. Like, if you actually look at the amount of time I spent on level building, it wasn't that much. It was just like getting the other parts of the code to work. But the actual making the jumps and the traps, not that difficult. Okay, so how is this level? Well, I've added 2 new traps, but mainly I would really only consider one, and that's the slow thing. Basically, when you're on this type of terrain, it's like you can pretend it's kind of like slimy, it like kind of slows down your feet, which makes it so that these mine traps are finally useful, because before you can just, outrun them. And I added these poison leaves or whatever. I mean, they're just a spike. So, I mean, it's not really anything new, but it is a new way of killing you. And should I get into the level? Yeah, I guess so. And then I've also added the foundations for the last level before the boss fight. I really am excited to do the boss fight because I have something so cool planned. But I have no idea how I'm going to do this level to make it memorable. But at least this level is really good. Okay, so I'll go through it and kind of my thought process. It was actually like when I was developing this, like I was having such a fun time. It was so funny. Oh, before I get into that, actually, you remember this bug, my last log? Yeah, embarrassing, right? But I fixed it. Basically, I made the rigid body collision detection continuous instead of discrete. So discrete only runs it so many times a second, but because he was so fast, that detection wasn't fast enough to detect this. So therefore I need to run it a bit more. So it's worse for performance, and also makes some of the objects more smoother. Like this barrel in level 1 behaves a bit differently now, but I'm totally okay with that. And I honestly think it adds to the experience. Okay, so why was this so funny? So why was this level so funny to make? Because I really went all out in... Okay, by the way, that only happens because I'm like doing this. Like it does not... The game wouldn't ever do that in the build. So that's not a bug. Okay, why was it so fun? Because I'm just trying to torture the player. I mean, I've said this so many times, but like genuinely this level has some really tough things until you figure them out. And figuring them out is going to be really where most people will quit. Okay, so here's the new zone. See, you're very slow, but when you're in the air, you're really fast. So how do I counteract that? With poison leaves that stop you from going into the air. If you touch them, you die. Okay, so what you have to do is you have to stop yourself in midair. Okay, here, now the traditional way of doing this is you get that line out and you have to walk backwards or else you'll die. I just did a bad job there. Normally you would live if you do that. Yeah, so bait out the first mine, bait out the second. Okay, let's try this again. Okay, I've never had a problem doing this. Okay, there we go. You bait out the second and then you can walk through this one. You're fast enough. Okay, now this plate. Now normally in the previous levels, the plates have always been good, right? Even in this level, the first plate's good. So you're going to condition the person to step on plates, right? And when they do, it spawns this and it just instantly kills you. There's no way of not dying to that unless you jump over the plate. So basically, the first time someone's going to solve this, they're going to be so happy, right? They're going to be thrilled. They're going to be like, oh my God, I just passed a very difficult section. They're going to step on this plate and they're going to instantly die and have to do it over again. I mean, there's really nothing that brings me more joy in life than that. Okay. Now there's actually another way of doing this. First of all, you can skip this like that. It's actually really hard to do. I can't believe I did it first try. And then I died of that. Okay. Okay. All right, I'm just going to do it the easier way. But there's another trick you can do, which is that you can jump like that. And you will avoid all of that. Next, you have to jump over this thing. If you don't, you'll die. Okay, and lastly, the end of this level, All right. Oh, oops. Okay, well, if you miss the jump, you'll have to wait until he kills you. But yeah, and that's the end of the level. Hold on, let me just. There we go. Yeah, I've tested this extensively, so that's why I'm actually pretty good at doing it. Okay, great. And then you can go here, and then you can transcend. I'm not going to transcend because that would kick me out of the level, but actually I'm done with it. So yeah, I mean, pretty solid level. It's actually not that hard, but that's only because I know exactly how this level worked. I made it, and I've practiced it because I'm testing, if there are any bugs, or, how the level design works, and if things are challenging enough and whatnot. So I've practiced this section probably, I would say, at least 20 times. Yeah, I think all of my game is very completable once you know what to do, but the trick is figuring out what to do it's gonna mentally break some individuals, and that's really the happiness I get from creating this game. Okay, well, I think that about covers it for this level. The next level, I'm gonna have to be pretty creative. I was thinking, yeah, I'm not gonna tell you what I'm thinking. I'll leave it a surprise for future me to figure out. But the final boss I have figured out, and I can't wait until you see it. I can't believe I'm saying this, but I just finished level 4 in one day. Um, I'm very tired. I can't even speak. Oh my god. Okay. Let's see. What should I talk about first? Okay, so I needed sprites for, which is like the images, right? The art for the game. And I looked through what I have so far, from assets, the free stuff I've gotten, and nothing really fit the level. So I decided to try and make my own sprites, and it actually worked. I think these look really cool. What I did is I used this website. It just makes sprites, and I copied. Let me show it. I copied the existing one I use, and then I edited it to have my own thing in it. So I used it as a reference while I drew it. And so I made this platform, which again looks nice, and then this laser thing. So the new things in this level are teleporting. So going into here goes there. You can just teleport to objects, lasers that spin, and yeah, that's it. Okay. Also, this level is extremely difficult. It's by far the most difficult level, and on that note, I've decided soon I'm going to make this level easier, because compared to the other levels, I've run through my entire game a few times, and this section is consistently the hardest, and this section. But the final level, or the final level before the boss fight, I'm fine with that being really difficult, but I'm not fine with the first level being too difficult, because then people will leave, and then I can't torment them, because then they'll just, yeah. Also, or no, it's not cut off. Okay, so here's how it goes. You go through this teleporter, right? And if you go through this top teleporter, it teleports you here, and if you go through the bottom one, it teleports you there. So you have to jump in between these, like so. Next, we have the lasers. Now, if you get hit by them, as you guess, you die, like most things in this game. So how I've found to do this consistently is that you wait, you get the rhythm down of when it gets here, and then you go. All right, then you jump here. Now this one's the other direction, so you can't go from the bottom, you have to go from the top. So I'll do the same method. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, and I didn't jump. All right. Oh my god. Okay, this is going to be a long log. I really don't like long logs, but I mean, what can you do? Okay, here. Whew, okay, next. Obviously this kills you and this kills you, so you have to go in between here. It actually isn't as difficult as it looks. You just jump. You keep testing it until you've gotten in between, and then you go left. Now you have to jump here, not too much, because you don't want to hit these. These will kill you very fast. And so, no! Okay. I'm just gonna do a little bit of, all right, no one saw that. Okay, so if you go here, it gets you jump here, and then you can like go left and avoid this thing, but it's not worth it, just skip it. All right, next to this checkpoint. So obviously you can't go past there because there's a saw there. So you have to go here, and then this lets you go into the air, and then you have to go left in the air, and then you have to go right to go down. Anyways, once the person does it enough times, they'll understand. All right, next we have a harder one. This one's really hard, and then done. Okay, we reset and we do it again. Done. Please. Okay, nice. Okay. Whew. Now we get to this teleport and we make these easy jumps. All right, this is just for when people are nervous. The easy jumps, they'll fail. Here, there's two ways of doing it. One, you bait out all the mines, but it's pretty tedious. And the other, it's more risky, but you can jump over like that. I actually have a lineup. I start running here for momentum, and then I jump right as my feet are right here. Okay, here you see that you have to go left, so you want to like bait it like this, and then you go left. Okay, and then you're here. Well, pretty easy level, as you can see. That totally didn't take me like hours to practice. But hey, the level's great. I think it's perfect. I'm just going to make this easier later, and then there's just the final boss. Can't wait to do that. All right, we are now on the live build. Well, it's not live because it's not, I haven't, made it public, but I'm on an actual build of the game, not in the editor, to show the boss fight. Yep, I did it in one day, 7 hours today. Light work. Honestly, it's just because like I'm done everything else in school, so I have a lot of free time and I'm really motivated to get this game done. So yeah, I've completed the boss fight, and I also made the dialogue after the boss fight, but the very ending I haven't done. So basically, once you complete the boss fight, you get dialogue, and then you have the boss fight again, So anyways, I'm gonna click continue because I don't want to do the whole level for you guys again. Oh well, I'll have to do this level again, but yeah. Okay, all right, we're here. Hopefully I cut it. I mean, it wasn't that long, trust me. Okay, it wasn't that long. All right. Oh, I don't think I've shown this dialogue before. Dude, the dialogue is actually pretty good. Like, I'm actually pretty happy with it. All right, is the boss fight. You're versus a self, which is a self of you. Like part of you, I guess. I don't know. I really like the name. Before it was named like Self-Doubt. That's a horrible name for a boss fight. A self is actually super cool. I'm debating whether I want to make it one word or two, but I think 2 words works. So I think I'm going to leave it as is. All right, and then there's 5 stages, and each stage it loses a 1/5 of its health until you complete the last stage, and it loses all of its health to 0. And then you enter the last dialogue, and then the ending of the game. Oh, I probably should talk about the actual level. I mean, as you can see, this is heavily inspired by I don't know, there's this genre of games. I've never played it, actually. I think they're called Bullet Point or something. Something like that. It's like Toho or like Night of Nights. I know that just from like being an anime enjoyer myself, but I've never played those games. But they looked really cool, and I thought it would be perfect for like a boss fight. Also, this one's pretty hard, so I kind of need to lock in. Okay. Also, another thing with these boss fights is they are a little bit unfair, or not unfair, like they're a little bit random. Well, they're all random. except the last one. I actually made the last one purposely not random so that, you know, you can't just get lucky. But the other ones, I mean, realistically speaking, luck does play a decent factor in these runs. But you know, I don't restart you from the beginning, so I restart you from the last stage you died in. So even if you have bad luck, eventually it'll even out and it won't be too painful. I think this is... Oh, I'm so good. Okay, nice. All right, now we slow it down. This one's the most luck-based, I feel like, because sometimes you can get it unwinnable, where you're just trapped, and like this, for example, like this is... Oh my god, I almost got through that part. You see, but even if you get unlucky, you can still like outskill it a lot of the time. Obviously, like, I've played games all my life. I mean, I don't really play these types of games. I more play like... I originally played like FPSs, and now I play MOBA. I mean, I don't really play games, but when I do, it's MOBA. I play League. Best game of all time. Oh, you see, like, this was super easy. I just got lucky there. Like, I didn't even try. All right, and the last one. So this one's not luck-based, and I'm giving away the strategy to beat it. Oh, it is kind of... Well, it's not luck-based because the spawning of the fireballs is the same every time. But to kind of beat it, I mean, it is kind of lucky. You basically have to run through them. Yeah, like this. So the trick is you want to get as much momentum as possible. Yeah. So when it's at the furthest away, that's when you want to do it. And then like now. And then... God damn it. You see, like that, there's just nothing you can do about that, unfortunately. Alright, sorry for the abrupt cut. I've been trying this for like 5 minutes. I haven't gotten it. I'm gonna go make this easier. Thanks for watching the log. Alright, this is just gonna be a quick recap. It's been many days, and I've just been doing a little bit of work each day, so I couldn't really give out a log for those days, and I really want to finish the entire project in this video, so I didn't want to make a bunch of vlogs. Basically, the short summary is I finished the ending, so after you do the boss fight, I finished that dialogue, and I have a cool ending as well, but I'm not going to show it in this video. And just general improvements. I tested it on Mac and got it fixed, and there were some problems with the build when you download it compared to when I just have the build run on my computer without downloading it. And so I've fixed all of those problems as well. And then now all there's left to do is just optimization and making my code more readable, just in case somebody reads my code, I want it, or if I return. And then I'm going to release the 1.00 version. Right now I'm on 0.99 because it's basically done, but it just needs to be optimized, so for better performance. And then that will be the 1.0 version, and then any problems, minor problems that I see later on, I'll probably fix them. And so then my game will eventually end with like 1.07 or something like that. So that's the plan. This is just an update. Yeah. Well, this is it, the final log. After 49 days of working on this, almost 100 hours total. Wow, there's so much to say. Well, as far as the release, I released the 1.0 version and now the 1.01. Although it didn't, like, the fixes were very minor, like it doesn't even matter. And I was trying to fix, there's some like transition loading on, like if you have a very slow machine and it looks a little bit weird for like a second. I tried to fix that, it didn't work. It's not really a big deal though. And I'm not going to go through the trouble. I'm pretty much done with this project, unless there's some really game-breaking bug. I'm not going to worry about it. The whole reason I made this game, well, there were many reasons, but for the video series, it was to show that, you know, anyone can make a game if you put enough effort and passion into it. And I think I proved that. I mean, I didn't do anything special. I just worked at it and yeah, eventually got it. Do I have some regrets? Yeah. Well, no, not really. It's regretful that the video qualities, the quality of these logs were so horrible. Like, it's basically, like no one can just watch such a dry video series. I mean, even I can't watch them like from front to back, all of them. And I made the video. It's because, I'm putting all my effort into making the game, like 95%. Then the 5% on the video is like, I basically just, okay, I do something and then I talk about it. Instead of thinking about, what did I talk about last time? What will I talk about in the future? And what am I trying to get out of the audience? What am I trying to convey? I'm not thinking about any of that. I'm just giving the raw ideas of what I have after I've made those changes, and that leads to a very dry and sometimes long videos. I mean, even right now, but this one's fine because it's the last one. So yeah, I mean, I also made sure to attribute everything. I like doing this, except for the background image. I couldn't find the author. Yeah, but everything else is good. Took me, yeah, like 6 months, 7 months, almost 7 months. Wow. Okay. I mean, I think that's it. Yeah, well, I mean, I hope you enjoyed the series. Probably the only person watching this is maybe me in the future in some years to see, how far I've progressed. Um, I'm very happy I did this. Will I be making games in the future? Big maybe. Um, with collaborating with others maybe. But just making it myself, for it to be every project I do, I like it to be considerably better than the last. And for a project to be considerably better than this, I mean, the amount of hours I would have to put in would be a lot, and it would really need to be a good idea and worth it, and maybe even something for commercial that I can, have it up on Steam Marketplace or something like that. But I hope you enjoyed these videos, and goodbye.